What's good, YouTube? It's your man, turn me up, Tony. Back at it with another reaction video. Yo, what's good, my good people? It's been a minute. I had to take a little time off, but we back to the reaction. I'm about to hit like at least about like 5 videos today. And shout out to one of my subscribers. We're still going to be doing that reaction video later on today. But for today's topic, we got high school. Look, high schoolers can't read at a what? They can't read, I guess. So this is a pretty interesting topic. I don't know what's going on in our education system where high schoolers are not being able to read, but we about to little find out and see what's going on because I'm concerned for the youth. So without further ado, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we about to get into the video. Let's get it.
Cannot read at grade level. As a music teacher, I didn't really think I had a whole lot to add to this conversation, but I don't think a lot of y'all understand how much this is affecting them in every single course that they're taking, not just the ones where they're having to write and read passages like science and math and reading courses, but it's affecting them in every aspect of their schooling. I'm going to put up a chart of a music staff so that you can see what exactly I'm talking about, because I have a story about this past year and some of the struggles that I saw in my band hall with kids that did not know how to read at their grade level.
Now, I'm on two sides of the fence of this. Even when I was in high school, we had our fair share of people who couldn't pronounce words and couldn't read or whatever the case may be. But I think it's just a level of, is that their fault or is that our education system? Is it the people that's not pouring enough time into making sure that these kids are adequate enough to comprehend and to read and to take tests and to pass tests and make sure that they're moving on to the next level efficiently? Is that y'all fault or is it the kids' fault? Because best believe a lot of these kids, they don't care about school. A lot of these kids, they want to be influencers. They want to be famous or whatever the case may be. They don't care about school. I don't blame them. Why should they? Now, look at our job market right now. They don't teach anything that's tangible that can help us in the real world. There's people getting degrees right now who can't even get a damn job. But I will say, to play devil's advocate, like they like to call it, I would say it has to be a conundrum between both sides. Kids should be able to read. You should be able to read at your level. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't know. I don't know who's to blame on that. I really don't know.
So what I was noticing this past year with my students is they weren't just having those typical issues that you would have to work through. A lot of these kids would not even use alphabet symbols. They would be making up symbols. They would not even know how to write A, B, C, D, E, F, G on their piece of paper. They wouldn't know how to form those letters. They would also have issues not knowing alphabetical order in general. So if they knew how to write A, B, C, D, E, F, G, they couldn't answer to me what letter would come after C in the alphabet. And I would ask them things like that specifically. What comes after C in the alphabet? They couldn't answer it. And I'm not.
But I wouldn't want to say there's nothing wrong. There's anything wrong with the kids. I think honestly, it could be their interest, and just because they're not, being taught these things appropriate and not being instilled in them until they actually care about it. So it's one of those things where it's like, it is crazy. They probably just don't know. Some of these kids, they come from different situations and walks in life where education is not their top priority. They got a lot going on, or they're distracted, and they just simply don't care for the most part. I can say this because in school, I was not the best person in school. I was terrible in school. I was terrible. I couldn't focus, and it wasn't, they trying to diagnose me with ADHD and ADD. I had to go to these special classrooms. If you know, you know. If you got to go to these classrooms where they treat you as if like you have a learning disability or whatnot. But I think deep down, I really just didn't care. I just wasn't, it's like my mind just wasn't focused on it. You know how there's some people where, and school is one of those things where some people just have a gift for gab for it. They just have a natural like tendency to focus on. I don't know how to explain it. Like it's just like how some people could pick up like a sport or an instrument or something, and they just honestly come second nature to them. I feel like our school system suppresses that ability within a lot of the people in the world. Granted, there are some intelligent kids. If school's for you, go to school, go to college, if that's for you. But a lot of these kids, school is not for them. If you give them a different task at hand, or maybe if you, some kids are visual learners, some are hands-on, change your approach. Don't just give them a damn worksheet and tell them to write down. It is just like, granted, it is basic instructions and they should be able to know how to follow it. It's not like you tell them to be a damn rocket scientist, but at the end of the day, you got to pique their interest. Some of them just really don't care. It's not the fact that they're incapable. It's just the fact that they're not willing. You see what I'm saying? They can go through, their attention span is crazy. Look what technology has done. They want to make TikToks and all these videos and stuff. Like, they don't care about it.
I'm not just talking 1 or 2 kids in the class. I'm talking closer to 50%. And we're not also just talking about 6th graders. We're talking about 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Kids that are about to go into high school. And did it make the job of teaching kids how to read music harder? Yes, but I think the reason why I'm wanting to point this out specifically is that a lot of teachers in middle school grades or upper level grades before you get into high school aren't necessarily dealing with skills that require you to go back to those remedial basics like the alphabet or drawing letters. But in music class, we literally work
high-speed fiber internet.
We only work with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 7 letters of the alphabet. And a lot of these kids do not know the first 7 letters of their alphabet or what order they go in. So I can only imagine how they are having issues reading and writing when they can't even identify the first 7 letters of the alphabet. It is a crisis. Before you...
I mean, look at the generation that we live in. We live in when our attention span is the same as a goldfish. I heard that's a statistic. Like, our attention span, our ability to really concentrate is very minimum compared to how it was in the last 10, 15, 20 years. This whole technology, we're so reliant on it that we don't take the initiative to actually learn and actually, acquire the skills that is necessary for us to be successful. And like I said, a lot of these kids, on top of that, they don't care for school. They don't. A lot of them, they're just there because that is part of the system. You go to school, you get your education, and then you get sent off in the workforce. But a lot of these kids, bro, like I said, they thinking about other things that's not related to school. They're thinking about their boyfriend, their girlfriend. They're thinking about, what's on TV, who's on TikTok, streaming. Streaming is another thing. A lot of these kids, they spend most of their time watching streamers. So it's a whole different generation. It's a whole different generation. So I get it, but then it's like, in the same token, the teachers have to do a better job. Not even just the teachers, but the parents. It's their responsibility to make sure that they're pouring into the kids. And I guarantee 9 times out of 10, when these kids are at home, even since they're younger, a lot of these parents, they got a lot going on. They don't try to pour in the extra necessities that it is for their kids. And that is the harsh reality. And teachers, some of them are just there just to get a paycheck. They're not truly passionate about teaching and helping these kids. Like I said, they give you a damn worksheet and they just expect you to, just get it right off the bat like you're a damn lab rat. Like, they don't care about pouring. You got some teachers that actually care, though. But for the most part, a lot of them, they just show up like it's just their job. Indeed it is, but at the same time, this is the future. So you got to take your job very serious as a teacher, pouring into these kids and making sure that they're getting the exact education that they need.
Say, well, maybe you're just not teaching the concept good enough for them to understand that they need to use the alphabet. I would see a correlation most of the time between the kids that were having those issues that I discussed and the ones that could not complete a writing assignment in music class, which I did have them write things out a lot. And oftentimes the same kids that could not identify their alphabet or write things in alphabetical order also could not write passages on their own that were legible and readable.
And best believe they can do it. It's just their focus. You could tell a kid To build a damn Fortnite, they know how to do that. You could tell a kid to work an iPad, work an iPhone, work, and they can do that regardless. Complicated skills that even older people can't even do, because it's like it's just a different time and people's focus and priorities are just not focused on that. So it's like, it's not the fact that they're incapable of doing it and that there's something wrong with them. I just think that they just haven't been taught in the proper manner for them to be interested in it, and they just don't care. I think a lot of them just really just honestly just don't care. That's just the reality of it. They're not slow, they don't have no, they just don't care.
I know all last week, all over social media, you saw nothing but teachers talking about how elementary and middle school kids are reading 4 years below grade level. Well, as a high school teacher, I'm here to inform you that high school kids are doing way worse. They are reading 6 years below grade level. The only difference is a whole heap of these kids are going to graduate at the end of this school year. And we are expecting them to go to college and obtain jobs when they cannot even comprehend basic skills, which is why we probably see a problem with employers finding employees. There are literally high school kids reading on a 3rd grade reading level, and still states are expecting teachers to prepare kids and have them pass state tests that are on or above grade level.
But I don't think that that's automatically fair to determine their future just because they have a reading comprehension problem. You know, I had a mother who has an 8th grade education. You know, she dropped out of 8th grade, but she still went on and still became the woman that she is. You know, so I'm not saying that that's going to determine their future. If they're not trying to get into Harvard, then I don't think that's a necessity. You know, it just depends on what your goals are and what you're trying to align with, whatever it is that you're trying to do in life. Because there's people who are smart who can damn near read the whole dictionary, but they're dumb as a box of rocks. They lack common sense. They lack street smarts. They lack creativity. They lack, you know, just to know how to survive in today's world. So the thing about it is, like, our education system has never been the best. Aren't we ranked like 30th something in education compared to other countries like China, India, and all that? You mix that in with the technology and the stuff that's promoted here in America, this is the outcome that you get, because it's our priorities are not aligned in the proper manner. So I'm not going to sit here and say that these kids just have different motives. They have different beliefs. They have different passions. It's not the fact that they can't do it. They just don't care. But that's not to say that they're dumb or they're incapable. You just got to pique their level of interest. If Kai Cenat got in there and could teach a streamers university, and you got all these kids paying attention to that, then maybe we should go back to the drawing board and figure out, okay, what it is that these kids want to be. You know, and sometimes, you know, some of these kids, you know, they're hands-on. They might be good at having a trade. They might be good at construction and, you know, plumbing, something that's in that field. Dancing, acting, like things that don't evolve just going to school, getting your diploma, and then going into the workforce. That's not meant for any and everybody. Just like how doing those other things is not meant for any and everybody. So we just got to get, I think school just has to develop a system where it has many different levels of interest for these kids to dwell in, so they can decide ultimately what they really want to do. You know, if school was more established in a way where it just taught you how to maneuver in the real world, and it just taught you about how to find different things that you would love to do and that you can really grow a career in, I think there'd be a level of interest there. Hell, y'all might have to have a Kai Cenat type of course where you can get these. Maybe some kids want to be strict. Like, you never know. So I don't know.
See, the issue is schools have dumbed it down for kids. They have made it so easy that kids believe that their only job is to show up and behave. And that should be enough to get a passing grade and to go on to the next grade level. We have a real issue here. And please do not talk to me about graduation rates, because Bugs Bunny could graduate in this era. Make it make sense.
Spell philosophy. Spell philosophy. Ain't no way, bro. You 16, he's 17. Y'all juniors and seniors in high school, man. Spell it. Ain't no way. We erase the board. We're going to forget about the other stuff. I'm going to give y'all another chance. Spell philosophy.
But I feel like that's humiliating, bro. Because it's like, he might not be able to know how to spell philosophy, but I'm pretty sure he could probably do other things that he's probably great at. Like when you look at education, all it is regurgitating information. Just because you know how to do certain things and pass tests does not mean you're a smart person. It just means, like when you look at the word knowledge, it just means you know. All it is just how much you retain information, how much you put it out. So if you tell me how to spell cat, C-A-T, and I spell that just means I just know how to do that. That's with everything in the school system. It doesn't teach you how to think outside the box or anything. So I'm not going to sit here and clown him because he can't spell philosophy. I'm pretty sure there's some words that professor probably, or whatever, whoever this is, his dad or whatever the case may be, he probably can't spell. I'm pretty sure if you whip out a damn dictionary and you tell him to spell Thegosaurus or something like that in that field, he ain't gonna know how to do it. So you can't try to demonize a 16-year-old because he can't spell philosophy. 9 times out of 10, he doesn't care. It's not that he's dumb, he doesn't care. How is spelling philosophy going to help him in the long run? We are living in a post-pandemic where people can't even get jobs having a damn master's and a PhD. How is spelling philosophy going to help him survive in the real world? How is it going to help him survive whatsoever? It doesn't. It really doesn't. So I'm playing devil's advocate, but it's like we have to look at it and get out of the matrix and get out of the confines of what the system wants to promote. Like, school just isn't for a lot of people. And you know what? That's okay. And this kid could probably be bright in many different other areas in society. He could still offer value. There's people who come over in the United States from all these different countries who don't know nothing about our education system. They don't know who George Washington is. They don't know anything about nothing. Damn near don't know how to speak English, but they still know how to sustain. They still know how to be successful. They still know how to make a living for themselves. And that's what the American dream is essentially about, is having the know-how to operate in today's world. But that doesn't mean you having to know getting that through the damn education system. If you don't know how to spell philosophy, damn, you don't know how to spell philosophy. If you spell it, what you want, a cookie? Are you going to Harvard? Are you about to take a damn spelling bee test? But I'm pretty sure he's one hell of an athlete. Probably one hell of a musician, one hell of a creator, one hell of a plumber, electrician, whatever it is. Half of the things that these people even go for in their job field as they get older, it has nothing to do with the education system. You're in school to be a damn doctor, to learn about the human anatomy, about the body, and you got to learn who George Washington was. Like, what? Why not just take the things that's what school should be about? If you're in there to be a damn therapist, why do I need to write all these damn essays and all these damn math tests to do so? To study psychology or what? What? Come on, bro.
Mother, dog. Keep going. I'm curious. I'm curious to see. Come on. Spell philosophy.
Why are you doing that to his sons, though?
Yeah. Man. Damn face. Come on. Get out the way. Let me see what y'all. Come on. All right. Uh-huh. So that's. Oh, y'all ain't done.
Nah, this gotta be fake. This gotta be fake. I ain't gonna lie. This has to be a setup, though.
Philosophy. That's our final word. Philosophy. Huh? Look at y'all. Man, spell cute, Makai.
I'm only finding this funny because of the dad, like his voice, and then the fact that they just not saying nothing is just hilarious. Like just the moment and how it feels like a skit. Like, so that's why I'm like I'm not laughing at them that they can't.
I'm gonna give you something simple. I ain't even gonna say no cute. That's a fourth grade word, dog. Spell cute. Spell it. Dog. Makai. That'll make no.
I'm sorry. No, the video is just mad funny, bro. Because it's just the energy behind. Like I promise you, I'm not laughing at them. I'm just laughing at the situation. Like it literally feels like a skit, and it's like, bro, I remember being in high school and being in middle school Whenever like my parents was telling me to do something, I know this look where you just sitting there, you looking at them, and you just not saying nothing because you know damn well like your parents are just mad disappointed in you. So it's like I know this situation, especially coming from a black household. This is so relatable. So this, forgive me, yo, this is hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, this is funny. This is hilarious. This is hilarious.
No damn sense. That don't make no. I don't know what school you going to when you graduate. I don't know what you going. Y'all going back in grade, boy. You going back to the 9th, 7th, 6th, 6th. You going backwards. Spell 2. It's 3 different ways you can spell 2.
And it's the dad.
Spell the
It's
first
his
2,
voice.
Maurice. Spell 2. Nick, dog. Y'all serious? Spell the other 2.
And then you got the smoke detector in the background chirping, bro. I can't with this video. I can't. Yo, this is crazy.
Makai. Spell the other 2. Dog. Y'all. Spell the number 2. Spell the number 2. Spell the number 2. Spell the number 2. Spell the number 2.
I'm crying.
Get out the house. Go. Get out.
No, this is definitely a skit. I'm buying it as a skit. I don't care what y'all say. This is a skit. It gotta be 100%. This is hilarious, bro. This is funny. Whoever they got a TikTok. This is definitely for jokes. This is not serious. I know for a fact, but this is funny. But listen.
Just go, bro. There ain't no way. Philosophy 2, 22.
The philosophy though, like yo, I'm about to end this video, bro. Yo, I'm gonna come back later on. We're gonna break this down. This into a 2-part series. We're gonna come back later on with part 2. I'm about to end this video to get myself together. If you like this video, make sure you hit a thumbs up. Make sure you comment. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this. This is a crazy situation. Before I close out, I just want to give all praises to the Most High God and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You didn't tune in with another video with Turn Me Up Tony, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.